So far, we have been focusing on output, the variable on the x-axis. We didn't talk much about the variable on the y-axis, that is the price level. Now we are going to dedicate chapter 12 to inflation. So now let's focus on the variable on the y-axis. So inflation. Remember, inflation is a long-run phenomenon. It is a process in which price level keep increasing. Therefore, money is losing its value. When the price level keep increasing, price of apple goes from $1 to $3, your $1 bill is going to lose the buying power of buying apples. And it is a rise in the price level, overall price level in the economy, not just the price of a particular good. And it is an ongoing process, not a one-time jump. Say, for example, on this graph, from 2002 to 2007, the price level goes from 100 to 150. Is that an inflation? Well, it depends. If the price level process goes from here and then jump to 150, then this is called a one-time jump of the price level. This is not an inflation. But if the price level increases gradually from 100 to 150, this is inflation. Why do we want to distinguish that? Think about this one-time jump. Say, for example, if Federal Reserve Bank announces today that everybody put an extra zero to the end of your dollar bill. So your $1 bill becomes $10 bills. Your $10 bill becomes $100 bills. What will happen in the economy? The answer is price of apple will go from $1 to $10. Price of haircut will go from $18 to $180. Nothing will change in your life. Okay? So for that kind of one-time jump in price level, goes from $1 to $10, we don't care. But if it is a gradually, continuously increase in price level, then that will be a problem in the economy. That's what we want to talk about. Now let's talk about the effect of inflation. First, anticipated inflation. The second is unanticipated inflation. What is the effect of anticipated inflation? Say, for example, suppose that we are in a long-run equilibrium right now. And President Trump says that we are going to go to a war. Therefore, the president proposes an increase in the budget. Therefore, people expect aggregate demand curve to shift to the right. This is original aggregate demand curve. This is expected aggregate demand curve next period, because Congress will have to discuss it. They have to pass the bill. But when President makes this proposal, what happened in the labor market? In the labor market, people are going to anticipate this increase in aggregate demand. They know that the price level is going to increase. Therefore, they are going to negotiate their wages for the next year, a higher wage. How high? The new contract will have a higher wage and Shorang aggregate supply curve shift to the left so that their real wage doesn't change. They are going to work 8 hours per day and eat 1 apple per day, just like before. So they prepare for this increase in aggregate demand. So this is the original Shorang aggregate supply. This is the Shorang aggregate supply for the contract next year. So what happened next year? If this is anticipated next year, actually aggregate demand curve is here. Actually Shorang aggregate supply curve is here. So price level goes up. Nothing will change in the real economy. People still work 8 hours per day. We still produce at potential GDP level. Our life is not changed except for a higher price level. So the cost of this anticipated inflation is called shoe-leather cost. Shoe-leather cost. Because you have to go to the ATM to withdraw more cash now. But your life will not be changed. So that's a minor cost. So effect of anticipated inflation is not that important. What's bad about inflation is this unanticipated inflation. So again, let me do this example again. Originally, we are in the long-run equilibrium. Now the president announced that we are going to a war, therefore he proposes a new budget. Originally, this is our aggregate demand curve. This is our Shorang aggregate supply curve. Now, people expect the aggregate demand curve to shift here next year. Therefore, workers are going to negotiate their wages for the future to this level so that their lives will not be changed. However, if we do go to a war and our enemy is stronger than we anticipated, the result is we will have to put more money into the war. That is, the government expenditure is higher than anticipated. Therefore, the actual aggregate demand curve shift to here. So this is the actual aggregate demand curve next year. Then what is the actual Shorang aggregate supply curve next year? The answer is this one. Why? Because you signed the labor contract at time 0. Therefore, you have to obey the contract. There's no expectation here. This Shorang aggregate supply curve will realize. Therefore, the true Shorang equilibrium is right here, not like here where you anticipated. Therefore, the price level is even higher. The economy experiences more inflation. We can do the same thing. Suppose that we are at a long-run equilibrium. The president proposes labor market sign a new contract. But the result is our enemy is just a paper tiger. Therefore, we don't have to spend that much money. Government spending is less than anticipated. So the actual aggregate demand curve only shift from here to here. However, where is the actual short-run aggregate supply curve next period? The answer is this one. Why? Because you sign the contract. So this short-run aggregate supply curve will be realized. Therefore, instead of the new equilibrium right here, our new equilibrium is right here. So that's the effect of aggregate demand increases less than expected. What happened? We will be in a recession. We have a recessionary gap. All right, so unanticipated inflation is the bad thing that we don't want. Then what are the effects of the unanticipated inflation? Let's talk about the effect on the labor market and the financial market. Okay, on the labor market, what is the effect of the unanticipated inflation? Remember, you work for the apples. You don't work for money. You work for money that can buy you apples. Okay? So when you go to negotiate your real wage, what you have to have in mind is the real wage, because you work for apples. Okay? But real wage is nominal wage divided by price level. Right? Therefore, change in real wage is change in nominal wage minus change in price level. That is the inflation rate. Alright, now, this is what you really want. However, any contract, any number on the paper are nominal. You don't sign a real wage contract. You always sign a nominal wage. You always sign a wage for $80,000, $60,000. Okay? So say you go to negotiate your wage with your boss, and you want a 5% raise for the next year. This is what you want. Then, what is the paper contract you should sign? Well, the answer is you have to find your expectation about the change in price level. Say, for example, you expect that the inflation rate next year or next 3 years will be 3%. Then, what is the new contract you should sign up for? The answer is you should sign a 8% increase nominal wage contract. And 3% of this nominal wage is going to use to cover the increase in the price level. The net is what you are going to earn. Let me say it again. When you go to negotiate your wage, because you work for apples, you have real wage in mind. Say, for example, you want to be able to buy 5% more apples. But you anticipate that price of apple is going to increase by 3%. Therefore, you are going to sign an 8% increase in nominal wage so that you will actually be able to buy 5% more apples. Alright, so now you sign the contract. And this is your expected inflation. Now, next year, the actual inflation is higher than anticipated. It's actually 4%, not 3% as you expected. However, you have already signed the contract, therefore you are going to earn 8% more wages, nominal wages, more money. Then what is your actual real wage? The answer is you will only be able to buy 4% more apples, not like 5% more apples as you expected. Are you happy? No, you are not happy. Therefore, workers lose. Is your boss happy? The answer is yes. When you both sign the contract, your boss expected to pay you 5% more apples. But now he only has to pay you 4% more apples. Therefore, he's happy. Therefore, employers gain and employees lose when the inflation is higher than anticipated. Let me say it again. What if inflation rate is lower than it anticipated, 2%, and you sign an 8% contract? Therefore, you are going to earn 6%. Are you happy? Yes. Therefore, if inflation is lower than anticipated, then employers lose and employees gain. So that's the effect of unanticipated inflation on the labor market. Next, what is the effect of unanticipated inflation on the financial market? Again, when you go to a bank, you try to lend your money to the bank. You want to buy a CD. Alright? What you have in mind is the real interest rate. That is, how many more apples that you can buy with the actual interest. But again, any contract on the paper is nominal interest rate. So this is the real interest rate. This is the nominal interest rate. Well, again, what's the difference of real interest rate and nominal interest rates? Well, this is a very famous equation which is called Fisher equation. That is, nominal interest rate is equal to real interest rate plus expected inflation. Why? Again, say for example, you want to be able to buy 5% more apples. But you expect the price of apple to go up by 3%. Then you will have to sign a contract. That is, you want the bank to offer you 8% interest rate so that you can use 3% of the interest rate to cover the increase in price of apple. Then you will earn a net of 5% more apples. Alright? So don't worry about the equation. Don't treat it as a math equation. Just use your intuition. Use this example. Okay? So this is what you want. This is what you signed up for. You want 5% more apples. You expect inflation rate to be 3%. What is the interest rate you are asking for? The answer is you are going to ask for 8% nominal interest rate on the paper. 3% of that 8% interest rate is used to cover the expected inflation. Then you will earn a net of 5% real interest rates. Okay? Now, you sign the contract. The nominal interest rate on the CD is 8%. You are going to earn 8% more money. Therefore, if you put $100 into the bank, you are going to get $108 out. If the inflation rate is higher than expected, now the inflation rate is higher than expected, say 4%, you are going to earn 8% more money. The result, you only earn 4% more apples. Are you happy? No, you are not happy. Are you a lender or borrower? You are a lender because you lend money to the bank. You buy a CD from the bank, certified deposit. You are a lender to the bank. The bank is the borrower. They borrow your money. Therefore, if that's the case, you, the lenders, are not happy. The banks are happy because they only have to pay you 4% more apples instead of 5% more apples. Therefore, when inflation rate is higher than anticipated, borrowers gain and lenders lose. Let me do the example again. So if this is the case, say for example, inflation rate is lower than anticipated, say 2%. And you signed up for 8%, you are going to earn 8% more money. Then what happened? You are going to earn 6% more apples. You expected to earn 5% more apples. Now you earn 6% more apples. Are you happy? Yes. Therefore, lenders gain. The bank, the borrowers, lose. This is called Fisher equation. That's for chapter 12.